time for Only in the UP, the segment of the show that highlights the friendly, creative, crafty, and inventive spirit of those of us who live here. It's about that stuff that makes the UP the greatest place on earth to live. I traveled to Cornell where I met up with Phil Labre, a creative fisherman who builds some of the finest handmade nets found in the Midwest.
Well, when I start building a net, you start with a board that you rip strips from. I tend to use my bandsaw because I don't lose a strip every time you cut a strip with the width of the bandsaw, with the table saw blade. Once the strips are cut and sanded, then I soak them. I soak them in really hot water. And I'll change the water just before I go to bend them so that they'll be more pliable. And then I bend them around a form, such as the one I got glued here, or I have some wooden ones. This is my form for gluing them. I use a polyurethane glue, so it's a waterproof glue. Then once it's all glued up, it's removed from the form. This is the way it looks when it comes from the form. It's an interesting piece of wood. It's a piece of spalted yellow birch that my friend dug out of the mud. We hauled it home and we cut it up, and that's what was inside. Spalting is a term used a lot in wood turning. It's when the wood is starting to break down. It's the fungus in the wood that's causing the wood to break down. And you'll get various different colors of spalting. And the most popular, of course, is any black line spalt. Then I like to add some trim pieces in the handle. This would be the final step of gluing. This net is fully laminated and ready to be flattened and then formed. Again, another piece of spalted yellow birch. Once the net's flattened, I run them through my drum sander to flatten the net. Then the net goes through the router to form all the roundovers on it. You have to drill the holes to sew your net bag into the net. And those are spaced out. I just happen to space them out at 1 inch apiece. So you route the groove, and then you mark each hole and drill the hole to sew your bag in when your net is completed. This particular piece of wood inside here for the handle insert is curly cherry. The inner and outer strip on this hoop is curly maple. But you won't really notice the figure in it until it's fully sanded, and then a coat of oil is applied. A nice penetrating oil really blows the figure out on the wood then, and really showcases our figured hardwoods that are local. I only use local hardwoods, partly because I'm somewhat allergic to exotics, but also because the Upper Peninsula has the most gorgeous hardwoods that you can buy. And once this is all sanded out and I apply a coat of oil, then I put the finish on. And myself personally, I use a gunstock oil finish, and I'll apply 8 to 10 coats with a piece of satin. I might be just somewhat OCD, but I like the way the finish is. I've tried other finishes. They tend to look plastic and they're not comfortable. I do make some custom nets, custom ordered, people ask, but most of the nets that I have in stock are made for me. They're what I like. The design of the net is what I like to fish with.
Phil also creates a variety of wood turning works of art. To find more of Phil's work, please pay him a visit on Facebook.